1 2, check Chuffy 1 2. Hi, you're with Scott, I'm Ganjikidd. It's midnight, it's always midnight. This is your right ear and your left ear. This is mono. Usually I say I'm Ganjikidd, I'm Grave Kipper, also called Grave Kipper when I play the old games, but it's probably not appropriate for this one. This is Monday, it's Mental Health Monday. It's World Mental Health Awareness Day or something like that. Let me just check that. World Mental Health Day 2022. Yeah, that's what's happening now today. World Mental Health Day. World Health Organization, World Mental Health Day. So we're doing a Mental Health Monday special. We're going to be playing this game, The Longest Walk. It's only a short game, really. It's only about 9 or 10 minutes long. So we're going to play this short game. It's a relatively serious one. The Longest Walk is a documentary walking simulator game about my father's experience of living with depression, anxiety and suicidal thoughts, says developer Alexander Tarvet. That music's a bit loud for me, you chuffer. I mean, it's World Mental Health Day and I could just do like a cheerful one, couldn't I? Buoy everyone along, cheer us all up, but I've wanted to play this game for a bit of time and this is the right time to do it. Over the past 5 years, Dundee City's been one of the council areas with the highest suicide rate in the whole of Scotland. This game aims to reduce feelings of isolation through shared experience and encourage those who are struggling with depression or experiencing suicidal thoughts to reach out for help. Through my father's sharing of his personal experience in an open and frank manner, this documentary game aims to provoke discussion and tackle the stigma around opening up about mental health issues. Personal experience. Okay, so we're all going, we're working. Before we start, mind.org, see that at the top, mind.org. It's a fantastic resource, mind.org.uk, for information and support, all different types of information support, everything from mental health support to legal rights. The Samaritans in the UK, or even internationally I think, the Samaritans, if you're feeling suicidal, they're waiting for your call. Lifeline in America, 988. Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, if you're feeling in crisis. World Mental Health Day. I'm going to stop the Skyrim music and we're going to play the game. And it's like I said, I think this is going to be a relatively short episode. Unannounced Mental Health Monday special. I might stop and talk about some of the things. I might feel a little bit emotional at times. Everything's fine. I'm not going to. I want to really let the game speak for itself and leave the space there for you just to have your thoughts, and at the end remind us of these resources. And before and at the end, I'll just remind us of this one idea that if you are struggling or you know someone who's struggling, or if you are struggling, then remember you're making it through one more day, 10 more minutes, another half hour, another hour. And if you keep making it through, if you get to the end of this video, you hold on and you keep holding on, things might brighten up at some point. You need to hold on to allow that healing to happen. It's part of the process to get through the tough times. So hold on. Hold on. Okay, we'll open up the game and we'll see what it has to offer. Content warning, clearly.
I felt anxious.
Hello, Snips.
So anxious that I was burning.
This is World Mental Health Day. A game.
My heart was beating really fast. I couldn't sleep.
Is that a bit quiet? Right, I've pinned out of it by mistake. It is a little bit quiet. There's nothing I can do about it. There's no settings. It's just a bit quiet. This game is called. I'll just bring it back up for you just quickly because we just got started. But literally, I wanted to choose settings, but it didn't let me. This game is called The Longest Walk. It's a documentary walking simulator about this developer's father's experience of living with depression, anxiety and suicidal thoughts. It won't take very long. and we're going to let the game speak for itself, I think, But it's going to speak quietly, so you have to just bear that in mind. Sorry about that. Nothing I can do about it. I'll let it run. I will, of course, want to interject all the time with lots of pieces of advice and ideas and thoughts. And I've been feeling like this, and I'm sure I remember when this happened. I think it's better to let it run.
I felt anxious, so anxious that I was burning.
One thing at a time, sorry. I'm going to just move myself away a bit more, and the tip me thing can just go for this, I think. We can just lose that. Where is it? Because it's in the way of the words, and you're going to want to read the words. Where's my tip me thing? There, that can go. And chat, you can go up the top of the screen. It's okay if I need to interject, but I don't want to. I want to give the game. I'm happy to talk a little bit afterwards, but I want to give the game space. Even though I've stopped it twice now, I want to give the game the space to say what it wants to say. That's what I'd like to do.
I felt anxious, so anxious that I was burning. My heart was beating really fast. I couldn't sleep. I got tireder and tireder because I couldn't sleep, because I was worrying. I was worry. I've let my family down. Everyone's going to suffer because I'm no good. Everybody who relied on me, it was a false reliance. I was a fake. Therefore, I worried even more about what financial disaster I'd put on my family. So, anxiety, nervous, energy burning off, lack of sleep. I remember vividly curling up in a ball on the living room floor, howling, not even crying, howling, saying how shit I was. I felt so bad. That's all I could do. I just wanted to be taken away from it.
I will do a little bit of talking. That first description was very interesting because it went from anxiety, didn't it? Anxiety and worries to self-destruction, self-detriment. I'm not good enough. And that led to a feeling of total hopelessness and what some of us might call rock bottom, lying on the floor, crying. And at that point, again, I will remind us, even though I don't want to break up the game with with other things, and I can't because I can't get the mouse out the screen without closing the game, so forget it. I will remind us though, Samaritan's Lifeline 988, at those moments, that's when that's most important. And sometimes you might feel you have to do it yourself. You don't have to do it yourself. You can get people around that will rally and help you. And they're the moments you have to pull through. They're the moments you have to keep going. I think is, like I said, you've got to make sure you can hold on, or you've got to try to hold on. Let's carry on with the game.
I only realised something was wrong when I was driving back from school crying, and I knew this wasn't right. It was a build-up of stress and work and expectations of work, and then finding that I couldn't do it. I wasn't alone. Other people were struggling with it, but I just thought, I can't do this. Why? What's wrong with me? Why can't I do it? I'm a failure. I knew I was stressed. I didn't know I was depressed. and I think it just got worse after that point. There was no stopping it. Once it started, the feelings of negativity about not being good enough, I couldn't stop it. The whole thing made me feel that I was worthless, so I didn't want to meet anyone. I didn't want to speak to anyone. I was so worthless that there's no point in, I shouldn't be indulging in my hobbies, which I love, my cycling and my books. I couldn't do that.
It's really interesting because we talk about it in Mental Health Support Monday, whatever, the videos we've been doing over the last year and a half or whatever. That idea that feelings, thoughts, behaviour, he described that he didn't even feel to do the things that he loved, and doing the things that make you feel better, don't they? And it's this vicious cycle, and sometimes you have to break into the cycle and say, I don't feel like doing it, but I might just go out and ride the bike, I
could see, and now I can, that these are the sort of things I should have kept doing. I should have kept in contact with people. I should have gone out on my bike. I should have gone to the cinema. I should have done this. I just had to hide because it was an embarrassment, and I was a worthless human being. And all the things that laterally I know is how you deal with it. I couldn't. It consumed me. Finding a way to kill myself that nobody would get hurt with. I.e., if I didn't want to jump in front of a train in case the train driver had to suffer stroke. I didn't want to hang yourself in the forest because some kid might find you. But I didn't want to kill myself. But I did. And it was not a drama thing. It wasn't, attention, I want to kill myself. It was, I'm a useless piece of shit. I'm no good to anyone. Everybody would be better off without me. Which didn't make sense. Now, it doesn't make sense. But I was so desperate. I was so down. I could understand why people would do it.
We say depression's rage turned inwards. That's a great example of that. And if you're having thoughts, suicidal ideations, thinking about suicide, then that's a great big flag in the map, big red flag. That's when you want to start talking to Samaritans or getting help, or XYZ, looking on the internet, mind.org, reaching out to people. Yeah, definitely, that's a big point to make.
And I was so numb that I could feel that people in my position then I could see how they could do it. But unfortunately I knew I couldn't because of my family. There's no way. Even though I was suffering and I was hating it and I was absolutely hating myself, I would have never done that to my family. I remember a run and actually being on the beach at Kingsbands and thinking, because I was away from you all and I was having me time, then I reflected, what a fucking great life I had, this is brilliant, I love my family and this is great, I can do this. I am a guy who did a lot of things on his own, and I think when you're giving time to other people as your job, you sometimes a wee bit of time to yourself without being too selfish.
It's interesting that you described a fluctuation in feelings, that even through this depression, this testimony describes sometimes where they feel a bit more positive, and I do describe life.
As soon as I got out there into my stride, which I'm not a great runner, but into my stride the head would clear, and then you could just enjoy the experience. So you hear the birds, you listen to the sea crashing in, you feel tactile the sand, and the experience of being doing that sort of thing. So I could enjoy the surroundings.
So two things have come up there. First, this idea of waves, that life is not all downs, it's not all ups, but it's not all downs. And if you're feeling you're in the trough, in the worst of it, and you keep going, you know, it might be that it increases in beauty and joy at some points. It might not stay that way, but you have to take the good, you know, the rough with the smooth, and you have to be there ready to hold on when it's tough, but try and take your time when things are good. And the other point here is that they're describing mindfulness, you know, the feeling of the sand, the sound of the sea, they're just being there in the moment, describing mindfulness, which we often say is a good way to try and combat certain feelings of depression. I'm not saying it would combat suicide, but this is a good point made here. Certainly if you're further down this path, you know, if you're down this path of feeling like this, if you're recognising this.
Rush, because it's always about timetabling, and at the end, yeah, more relaxed. I could come home and get on with the rest of it.
If you recognise it, then that's time to start talking about it.
I know that I've had these issues. I'm hopeful I won't have them again. I can't tell if I'm going to have them or not. I don't know what's going to kick in. You know, I didn't think I'd get it after the second time. But then I went back in that position of responsibility, and I had a trigger there. I knew things were happening. I knew that I didn't want to be ill, and I knew that I should be doing certain things and doing all these different techniques, but I couldn't stop it. And that was also a frustrating thing, that to have this experience of 2 big episodes, and then a third one to come again, and know and be aware, because I was awareness of triggers and stresses, and because I couldn't get a grip with that made it worse.
Totally understand that. It's not that once you've overcome your depression once, that's it, you're sorted. You know, you have to face these difficulties in life, through life, and you have to repeatedly work on this thing. You know, you repeatedly put a bit of effort into it to, you know, to hold on, to physically hold on sometimes. And the idea that it could come back again makes you, like you said, makes you even more anxious and depressed maybe. But I would argue again that those are times that you probably need a bit more help, and it's okay to accept it, whether it be talking to a doctor or other professionals. You know, you don't have to go through these things alone. I'll put the numbers up again at the end of the playthrough.
And for the second and third episodes, I got better at dealing with it and saying, well, I can't do anything about it, I'm ill. If I had a broken leg and I was on a plaster, it's obvious. Because I've got a broken head, it's not obvious to see that I'm ill. I think the last time I was ill was much quicker, because I did get the grip. I would like to think I'm a better person for it. It was a good thing. It was a horrible thing, but it was a good thing, in that it made me reflect on what was important. My family was more important than anything else. What other people think doesn't matter, apart from the ones close to you. And work is important. It's a job, and getting that balance right, and that's what was wrong. Boys, I don't know that we talked about, and I think they weren't fully aware of just how seriously ill it was, which is brilliant, because we were too young to deal with that at the time, but it's good to talk about now. I hope they know that if anything like that happens to them, then they understand it. Well, it's happened to their dad, so, and he's still here, and he's still okay, I hope. And yeah, that if it happens to their friends, and that happens to people they love, that they'll have insight into, to know that people need help.
There you go, I told you it'd be short. But life doesn't have to be. You know, shouldn't be. And you don't have to quit. More importantly than that, you can hold on. So contact mind.org here for mental health support and advice on the internet. Everything from mental health problems, drugs and treatments, tips for living, how to get into support, how to support other people, legal rights, all sorts of different things. It's a UK-based service, but you know, it's an online access point. Samaritans, if you're feeling totally depressed and you really want to talk to someone, it doesn't have to just be suicide. You know, 116 123 43 in the UK. Lifeline in America, it's a crisis lifeline as well. It doesn't have to just be I'm suicidal, but you noticed at the start of that game, the way we went through it, it started with anxieties and worries, and then that led to feelings of self-worth being shaken, and then that led to a total sort of pressurized breakdown, and that led to this ongoing, you know, like being stood in the sea and the waves. Sometimes the waves aren't so bad. Sometimes the waves carry you to shore. Sometimes it's a sunny day, and other days it's you know, bad weather and those waves are big, and you can get engulfed, sucked out to sea. So it can start with just something small and it can end up with something big, and we're all just human. So crisis lifeline as well. And talk to people, you know, talk to people. World Mental Health Day. That's what we've done this for. I don't really buy into all this, you know, International Dog Day, International Cat Day, International fucking first day of the week day, International Sunday. I don't really buy into all that, but World Mental Health Day is today. It happened on a Monday. We usually do Mental Health Monday. We've adjourned Mental Health Monday for a bit, but if you want to go on our channel that you're watching this on now, Ganjikidd, the channel, and you go to the other channels like home videos, playlists, channels, there's Mental Health Monday. We did a Monday mental health video every day for about a year, and we put them all up on there. More recently, we're going to be looking at mental health through the prism of psychology in a different way, but I wanted to make sure we did this episode today here now. The Longest Walk is a game by Alexander Tarvet. I'm going to put the sad music on again. It's a game by Alexander Tarvet. The work is part of a wider research project exploring how games can be utilised as a creative medium for representing biographical and documentary storytelling within the applied context of lived experience and health issues. It can be passively watched as a video documentary or played as a game. Explore the story at your own pace and contemplate whilst walking in his footsteps. I'm not going to put all of my feelings and ideas on that. I've talked about my feelings and ideas about depression quite a lot on Mental Health Monday. You know, when I mean that, I mean my personal feelings. But I wanted to make this nice and straightforward and succinct. Watch it again if you want. You can watch the actual game itself here on Alexander James Tarvet's page. You don't have to have me on the top of it talking. Have a think. Once you've done your thinking, look to the future. Just hold on a bit longer. And in the long term, you know, I'm talking from the position as someone who's been through this. Totally understand where this was coming from. Sat here now talking to you on the internet. So it can be done. You can do it. Snip says, it moves you through the feelings. Yeah, I could have stopped a lot and talked a lot actually, but I felt, I mean, maybe this is a good example of something that if you find it difficult to talk about depression with someone and you feel like you want to talk about it with them, maybe you should say, can we just play this game together, because it's going to bring up some stuff, and I don't really know how to say this, but the game says it, and then I can talk about it. You know, maybe that. Maybe it's a game that a parent might want to play with a child. But the way it moves through, it's interesting how it gives you an image with a break before the next image. It illustrates how you can be wrapped up with your thoughts in your head, and sometimes it's difficult to see the way out. That's true. You were trapped in these little islands of thought, weren't you? These little moments, and there didn't seem to be much rest of world going on. I remember at one point we were walking through a thing with a traffic noise, and it reminded me of how I remember once or twice, I'm not going to, again, don't want to get on specifics of my life, I think it should be more general, but being in a public environment and feeling like you're the only one feeling that depression, like you're lost, your world is shattered, and everyone else is just getting on with the normal day-to-day, the traffic's going, and you can't seem to, it's like you're in a different place, but you're there in the middle of it all. The next image moving forward shows us there's something beyond the negative experience we might be having right now. That's true as well. I love the art style. I thought it was very, very interesting. I thought that was just enough to do what it needs to. And hopefully this video for somebody might be just enough to do what it needs to. I haven't got any super treatment. I haven't got any like magic pill. I've just got a bit of solace, a bit of support. The idea that there are people out there feeling like you that are going on the same journey, and that if you just hold on, you know, we reach out hands across the world and we'll try and hold on together. And as long as someone's got hold of the ladder, we've just got to keep moving forward. You've got to pick yourself up and keep moving forward. And there are people out there who will help you if you just reach out. So have a think on that, you chuffer. And that's it. I'm going to cut. I'm going to just say that's a short episode, and it's done the job that I wanted it to. I might be back later playing on Genshin Impact on Twitch. I might not. I don't want to feel... there's one final point here, which is what I'm going to do, is I'm going to stop this Streets of Whiterun music and say that all of that together, even when you're not depressed, can make you feel sad, can make you, it can move you, you know, it can make you feel something. And remember that the cognitive behavioural triangle, the cognitive triangle is this idea that thoughts, feelings and emotions are all interconnected. Thoughts, feelings, it says behaviour there. Thoughts, feelings, your feelings are your emotions, aren't they? I got it wrong. Thoughts, feelings and your behaviour, this one, I like this one because it's colourful. So we started thinking about things that were depressive, difficult, and they can make me feel, they can actually make me feel a bit sad. And then my behaviour might be, like that guy said in the thing, I don't fancy going on out on the bike ride now. So at the end of this, I'm going to not spoil it, but I'm just going to, I kind of think this is, it feels like this might be really fucking wrong to do right now after all that talk about serious things, but this is serious things. Like, look on the bright side of life. Try and go and do something now after you've watched this and it's made you feel sad. If you're in the throes of it and you need to talk to Samaritans and all this, then stop now and talk to Samaritans. Don't listen to this funny song that I'm about to play because it won't help. You'll feel cross with me. But if you're not and you just got a bit depressed because I made you a bit depressed because we just played a depressing game and it made you feel sad about the things, remember to make yourself feel happy about things by interacting with this. When you're on the floor, you pick yourself up. I'm not going to stay on the floor. That's my behaviour making me feel worse now because I'm lying there and I'm curled up. I'm going to get up. I'm going to wash my face. I'm going to change my behaviours. It will change my feelings and my thoughts. I might change my thoughts to try and change my behaviours and feelings. Sometimes I can't change my feelings that straight up, so I have to work on these other parts of the triangle. So I'm just going to finish with this, and it will cause us problems with the copyright algorithm, so I'll just do it quick and just play a little bit of it. And this is an advert, so that's designed to make you feel anxious. Don't worry about that, you chuffer.
You know what they say? Some things in life are bad. They can really make you mad.
And that's enough of that because copyright, but you know what I'm saying. some reason that's made me feel even more emotional than the rest of it, but it's because I'm reflecting on people that I've lost in my life who used to buoy me along. It's all good in the hood. It's all good in the hood. That's the trick. We're here to buoy each other along. So that's the resources. That's been Mental Health Monday on World Mental Health Day. Next Monday, we're going to be back with Steve doing mental health. It's not directly mental health stuff, but it'll be psychology that talks about things, and we will have support and mental health to offer as we go. But next week we'll be back to talk about more dark side Phil stuff with Steve on Thus. But that's just been a short one for you today. Everything is fine meme. I don't even know that one. I'll have a look. Everything is fine meme. Can't even spell. Oh, this is fine. This is fine. I will actually just finally as well. I just, you know, I mention it loads of times, don't I? But IF's pretty important to me, and it's just this one line here today, isn't it? And so hold on when there's nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. You know, meet with triumph and disaster, treat the two impostors both the same. Watch the things you gave your life to broken. Hold on when there's nothing in you except the will which says, hold on. And we'll get to all the rest another time. So you be good, my little puckos, you be good. And if you can't be good, you're naughty, frankly.